PPM TV presents the 2017 Inspiration Awards. Made possible through the generous support of Physicians Healthy Weight Loss Center, where the physician makes the difference. Seagate Studios, creating New England-inspired gifts and home decor right here on the Seacoast. Pierce Atwood LLP, proudly serving the region's legal needs since 1891. And by Shannon and Josh Adler. And now, please welcome the President of the Portsmouth Public Media Board of Directors, Mr. Ron Wolf.
Good evening and hello everyone. Thank you for coming. As President of the Portsmouth Public Media Board of Directors, it is my pleasure to be with you tonight to celebrate the work, the passions, and the community service and inspiration that Liz Forkel, Joanne Connolly, and Ellie Sanderson represent within our city. The very nature, commitment, and dedication are the core of work and so very worthy of our collective appreciation. Tonight marks our third annual PPM TV Inspiration Awards event, and if this is your first time, if you're joining us for the first time, you are in for a real treat. Just ask our previous award winners, several who are participating tonight. In just a few minutes, you will see 3 video presentations, and I do need to warn you, it's going to be emotional and heartwarming in a very, very good way. PPM TV presents the Inspiration Awards each year, bringing to light the spirit of connection our community members offer to our residents in such selfless ways. PPM TV is your connection to the community, a vehicle through which local voices can be heard and local stories can be told. And it's run mostly through the skill and dedication of the volunteers. PPM TV has been established to help answer the question, what's your story? And I encourage everyone to become involved in the magical world of visual storytelling through the expertise and the resources PPM TV has to offer. As a member of PPM TV, you are supporting local voices, local stories, much like the stories of Liz, Joanne, and Ellie. So congratulations. You are all unsung heroes, but after tonight, everyone here and viewing at home will understand why Liz, Joanne, and Ellie are truly inspirations to us all. On behalf of all of us here at PPM TV, we are truly grateful. Thank you and congratulations. And now it is my pleasure to introduce the Executive Director of PPM TV, Bill Humphreys.
Thank you all very much, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 3rd annual PPM TV Inspiration Awards. It's our great pleasure to welcome you here and to host you all this evening in the celebration of these 3 exceptional individuals who have so quietly and yet so profoundly affected the entire community of the Seacoast in which we live and made it a better place. Tonight we are honored to present 3 stories about passion, commitment, and enabling the dreams of others. Liz Forkel, Joanne Connolly, and Ellie Sanderson. You have inspired a community, and we're privileged to tell your stories this evening as a way to show our gratitude for the effect that you have had in such a selfless way in the lives of so many. I inherited this from my father. It's honest and true, but it creeps up when you're not looking. But last year we, keep breathing, everybody together. Thank you. Last year we honored a wonderful woman who works with Seacoast Adopt-A-Block and is the director of Operation Blessing, and her name was Tammy Jocelyn, and she was intended to be here with us this evening to do the first presentation tonight. Unfortunately, she was not able to make it, and so I have the honor of presenting the first Inspiration Award this evening. As director of the all-inclusive Contutti Chorus, Voices from the Heart, and South Church Chorus, Joanne Connolly interacts regularly with over 300 individuals. Through her work, Joanne passes on her passion for the power of music. That passion solidified years ago during a workshop with Issei Barnwell of Sweet Honey in the Rock, changed Joanne's life. Today, that connection, based in its emotional, spiritual, and personal influence, carries on worldwide. Her work as a humanitarian has crossed generations, cultures, and language. And it is these attributes that make it easy to understand why chorus members of the entire Seacoast community and the world are benefited greatly by her work. Here now is a short glimpse into the inspirational work of Joanne Connolly.
My name is Joanne Connolly, and my position is, I would say, the founding director of Voices from the Heart and Contutti. Voices was formed in 1995. In Voices we have 200 members, and in Contutti we have about 100 singers. In the winter, people really like to get involved with that winter concert. It's a holiday celebration, so we go up to probably about 120 there. The music I choose is, most of it is organic to the place that it's from, and I'm totally always in wonder at that. We sing a lot of South African music that has no composer. You have a piece of music, it's in 4 parts, it's been captured somehow, you know, someone eventually writes it down, but it organically was created by people because they were moved to protest apartheid or something. In 2001, we went to Ireland. 2007, we went to Croatia. 2012, we went to Cuba. And in 2015, Contutti went to Puerto Rico. In Croatia, we, with matching funds, Ann Bliss said to me, we're going to raise money, and Marty Santoro, and they said, we're going to clear a minefield. So this is the kind of thing that these leaders in my groups do. And they raised, with matching funds, $140,000. And it wasn't just, we're going to clear the minefield. Oh, we're going to go sing in the minefield. So we sang in the minefield. And the mines were all around us, and there were signs with skull and crossbone, don't go here, don't go there. And then in Contutti, Joe Salisbury said, we're going to start a music program at a place called the Tau Center for At-Risk Children. And sometimes it's not as easy to be a do-gooder. They want to really vet you. They don't want you just to come into their school, and they want to make sure who you are, and we're just trying to give them money. And Joe was very persistent. And all of that really moves me a lot. You know, we just, pretty recently, got a wonderful picture of all the children playing violins that we had provided for them. And they did not have any music in their school. And we went and did a concert for them, and they sang for us, but they didn't have a formal music program. So what inspires me is I get to create, and I get to create with all these wonderful people, and that they connect with each other, and they support each other through some really wonderful times and some really deeply challenging times. We just sang at a funeral on Friday for a member who suddenly lost her husband.
Okay, here we go. Let's sing as we're moving.
I think music created by cultures together is powerful. It's not, it's not a heady thing. It's not an intellectual choice. It's more of a heart choice that way.
Joanne really encouraged us to be sort of fearless about singing no matter where we were. And so, you know, we'd be on a street corner and start singing, or we'd be in a square and start singing.
She's a tremendously special woman who I think, when you think about people and what they do in life, whether it be professionally or socially, and you know, certain people just have a calling.
You know, she always tells us, sing for yourself first and then share it with someone else. So it's like, you know, whether also too, if there's a certain song that we're singing, you know, think about who you are singing this song to. So it forces you in a way to have that deeper connection, not only with the music, but then whoever that person is that you're singing to.
I think we have come to think of music as something that only professionals do in a concert hall or on TV, and I think originally people of all kinds all over the world, and they still do, sing together in a community. And that's what feels very true and important to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Joanne Connolly.
Now you get to stand and face your public.
All right. Hello, public. Well, I was talking quite a bit already. So I'll try and make this brief. But thank you, Bill, for this. Thank you, PPM TV. Thank you, Board of Directors. Thank you, staff, all volunteers here. Congratulations to Liz Borkel, to Ellie Sanderson. Thank you to Wiki Rowland, Mike Labarge, and Joe Salisbury, who nominated me for this award and thought I was okay to get this award. I've been thinking a lot about inspiration, so I'll just try and speak quickly about this. My grandmother was an inspiration to me. She was born in 1898. She lived to be 100 years old. She lived on a farm in Waldoboro, Maine, until she ran away at age 13 from a difficult situation. That's another story for another time. She, as a young woman, moved to Chicago and became the first saleswoman on a team of men. Then, on her own, moved to New York City and became trained as a nurse in a hospital. There she met my grandfather, who was playing in an orchestra. 6 weeks later, at New York City Town Hall, they got married, and they started music schools. The Reading Institute of Music, they had 14 schools at the height of their career in New Jersey and in Pennsylvania. But her strength, her independence, and her fierce love, and her humor were all things that really inspired me. I mentioned in the video Issei Barnwell. Do you know who she is? From Sweet Honey in the Rock, a black a cappella women's group out of Washington, D.C. Very powerful. I did a workshop with her for 10 days about 25 years ago, and it changed my life. Each day we would sing a different kind of African music, African American music, spirituals, gospel, contemporary music. On the second day, we sang spirituals. George Brandon was with her. He was an anthropologist from New York City who taught medical students how culture affects medicine. He told a story about slaves who couldn't worship on a plantation. They would go hide in the woods once a week to worship because they weren't allowed to. And they would bring a big, giant bucket of water. And when things became too emotional, they had emotional pain, physical pain, spiritual pain, they would put their heads in the water and they would scream because they couldn't let that out and be heard doing that. After he told that story, E.J. Barnwell taught us, I'm gonna sit at the welcome table. I'm gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days, hallelujah. I'm gonna sit at the welcome table. Gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days. 50 people in a circle. Then she started adding harmonies to it. I'm gonna tell God how you treated me. I'm gonna tell God how you treated me one of these days, hallelujah. I'm gonna tell God how you treated me. Gonna tell God how you treated me one of these days. I looked across the room. There was an African-American woman in her 20s starting to cry. Most of us thought, oh, we better stop singing and comfort her. And E.J. Barnwell said, no, keep singing. We kept singing and singing and singing, and she kept crying, and it was from a very deep, deep howling place. And E.J. Barnwell went and put her hand on this woman's back, and we sang, and we sang, and we sang until that woman stopped singing and was comforted. And E.J. Barnwell said to us, you sing the song until it's sung out. And that changed my life. And that's when I came back to Portsmouth and said, because I was trained as a classical singer and as a conductor, but that changed me. And that's when I started Voices from the Heart about 21 years ago. 50 women showed up the first night, and by 2 years later, 200 people had showed up. I don't want to, I have about 8 more pages, so I don't, no, I'm going to skip some of this. When I talked to Bill, he said, no, speak as long as you want. But he didn't okay any of this. But anyway, as a young child, I was inspired. I was going to give you a music quiz. I'll skip that part. I was inspired by a tune that goes, do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Shout it at any time. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Anybody but Tony or Russ Grazier can answer.
Little Rascals.
Do you know what it is?
Little Rascals.
Yes, it's a theme from the Little Rascals. They built a community. They didn't need adults. They had fun. They sang songs, they did plays, they had so much fun. And I wanted to be that. So in the 5th, 6th, and 7th grade in my hometown, in my neighborhood, I gathered all the kids, we put on plays, we sang songs, all the neighbors came, they brought their beach chairs, we put up sheets on the line. Have you done this in your neighborhood? Did you do this as a kid? We collected money. And you know what we did with it? We bought a parakeet. And the parakeet lived at everybody's house for just 3 weeks. It probably died after that. But I want to move on to my real point, is with Voices and Contutti. When we went to Ireland, Elizabeth Coifel and Christine Pelham said, we're not going to buy a parakeet with the money that we raise. We're going to support women's refuges, which are safe places in Ireland. In Croatia, Ann Bliss and Marty Santoro said, no parakeets for us. We're going to clear a minefield. And we raised $140,000 because of them. In Cuba, Becky May, Val Sobel, and a bunch of other people said, we're going to make these women carry 2 suitcases, one with their own stuff and one with medical supplies, art supplies, and toys for children, which were distributed throughout Cuba. In Puerto Rico, Joe Salisbury, Karen Plant, Miguel right here, and many other people said, we're going to start a music program in a school for at-risk. No parakeets. Anyway, if I can be counted among any of these people that I mentioned tonight as an inspiration, I am humbled and honored. Thank you. Okay.
I don't have any parakeets. Which I did. Corinne Wallace is the very definition of an exemplary and wonderful unsung hero of the Portsmouth community. She has been volunteering at Families First and the Seacoast Family Food Pantry and the United Way and Big Brothers and Big Sisters for many, many years. And it's due to her selfless devotion and dedication of her time, energy, passion, and spirit that Corinne was awarded an Inspiration Award last year in 2016. Tonight, she's here with us to pass that honor along. If you would, please, Corinne Wallace.
For you, Liz. The Portsmouth Herald recently ran articles on all this year's Inspiration Awards honorees, and the opening line in the article on our next recipient began, "When you meet Liz Forkel, the first word you think of is energy." Her passion for life, her exuberant nature, and her commitment to the Seacoast make her an inspiration for many. And so tonight we take a quick look at her exuberance, her energy, and the work, passion, and dedication that this tireless ball of energy, Liz Forkel, has discovered a way to transform the biological benefits of exercise into financial support for an ongoing variety of charities who benefit the Seacoast community. We take a moment now to introduce you to the person behind what some have referred to as a concoction of endorphins, sweat, goodwill, and love. Liz Forkel.
My name is Liz Forkel, and I run Liz Fit, which is a small local fitness business in the Seacoast of New Hampshire. And it's a wonderful community made up of so many different types of people, so very welcoming. I always felt that working out was always much better when you had your friends with you, and that you have this wonderful small community around you, and everybody inspired each other to work out. And at the same time, it was social and fun, and it brought you back. And if it brought you back, then it wasn't a workout. It was honestly just getting together with your friends and putting a little sweat on the face and then coming back for more because you wanted to. The moment you step in, everybody welcomes you. It's like your neighborhood. You honestly feel a sense of community, and I'm not making this up, that people step in and they go, this is so easy, this is so wonderful, and everybody wants to know who you are, and they welcome you in, and it just gets, you become more involved because, again, it's fun, it's easy, it's welcoming, it's an incredible community, it really is, and every fitness type is recognized and welcomed. So Spinning Generosity started in 2011. The year before, I had actually invited a charity in, and we rode for that charity. We spun on these spin bikes for that charity for just a 50-minute class. And it was so much fun, and it was just a great time, and everybody gave a few dollars. It was only meant just to give back a small amount for that charity. And so that went by, and I didn't think much about it. And then the next year came, 2011, and for some reason, after Thanksgiving, I was feeling very disillusioned. I truly felt that I wasn't doing enough. I felt there must be some way to involve a greater amount of people and have a bigger impact. If I can involve more people and bring people together in a workout environment that increases endorphins and giving, sort of those two together, then I might have a bigger awareness in the community because people will enjoy it. They'll want to come and they'll laugh and have fun and they'll sweat, they'll give back, they'll have a sense of community, and I use that word a lot. But that was the impetus, sort of, for starting Spinning Generosity. But again, I'd only done one class before, and I'm sort of go big or go home. There's no middle ground for me. I'm black or white, ask anybody. A little over the top, way over the top. So I'm thinking, okay, why don't we bring in not just one, but maybe two? No, that's not. 3, could be bigger. So I decided on 7 charities and 1 charity a day, 15 minutes of a spin class, something doable for everyone. Spinning in itself is very doable. It can be totally modified, and if you've never spun before, it's no problem. So I felt, again, endorphins and giving would be a great concept. The first year we raised $7,000. Second year we raised $9,000. Third year we raised $13,000. Had a dip in the fourth year of 12, but then rebounded in the fifth year of 21, and then this past year $40,000, which in total over $100,000 for these local charities, which is truly incredible. All legal, I assure you. Yes. I think I'm truly inspired by those around me. I really do.
You're responsible for about over $40,000 raised. Isn't it crazy? To support 7 local charities? Crazy? I think not. I think that's amazing and wonderful. And everybody has played such a huge part in this.
I feel very lucky to live in this area. And so in order for me to feel more connected, I truly believe by doing that, by giving back, is one of the most important things you can do. And I love doing it. I love the feeling. I love this, what it brings about. And mostly, you know, I'll come back to community. I use that word a lot, but community. I love that very much.
Push back. Nice.
Please welcome Miss Liz Forkel.
Nicely done. This is for you. Now you can talk.
Now you're gonna talk. Is that all? So I wrote this script out 30 times in marker, and I don't know if I'm going to follow it because it should come from the heart, right? It's what you feel. Exactly. And so basically, I begin with wow, capital W-O-W, exclamation point, because in this moment, it's wow, it is on, it is big, go bigger, go home. Is that what I said? Right. And here I am standing in the limelight with my community, the people that inspire me. Oh my God, Joanne. Oh my goodness, Ellie. Oh my goodness, my family, my fitness family, my other family. It's the same thing. And more family, and my community, the place where I live. And to be honored in this spotlight by PPMTV, Bill Humphreys, his crew, is overwhelming. And I'm so honored. I am so grateful. My hands are, yes, they're shaking, but I mean every word. And I will remember this forever. So thank you for this opportunity. I think we can all say that. And behind every great event is a crew of people that make it even greater. It's not just one person. It is the city that we live in. It's everybody around us. And I am going to get emotional, right with Bill. Where's Bill? He's somewhere here. First off, Karen Frisbee, who is my backbone, who is the person that nominated me for this prestigious award, has always been there, has always had my heart, and works with me to make sure I deliver the best results possible. Thank you, Karen. It really means everything to me. And yes, yes! Applause. And speaking of community, I work at a community, city-run facility called Spinnaker Recreation Center. And that, of course, goes right in line with what I'm doing. And they have allowed me to run my business at a very low cost to give back to my community. Again, so it's not just about spending generosity. It truly is about having it affordable for all, so everybody can partake in sort of that great feeling of exercise and endorphins. I love endorphins. But they also allow me to house my business and spending generosity, so I'm so appreciative. But of course, spending generosity would have never happened if I didn't have this amazing crew to help me launch this amazing 7-day event. Oh, Aaron Bratt, hi, over there, marketing. Oh my, yes, love you. Everything visual. Thank you so much. Maggie Sutherland, Seacoast Leslie, yes, woo! Quick little moment from Maggie Sutherland. Do you know about Maggie Sutherland? Seacoast Lately. Talk about community. This woman loves Portsmouth more than anybody almost in the room, almost. So check out her blog. I didn't mean to do that, Maggie. Sorry about that. But she is my social media guru. She has brought everything alive. She really in Technicolor, Instagram, Facebook, and more. I don't know how I live without you. Brittany, where is she? The amazing woman. She's a crazy woman. And did you know that she is the #1 LizFit fan? Yes, she is. Yes, she is. For everything I cannot do to make Spending Generosity or LizFit better, she picks up. She's there almost as much as I am, and she welcomes and greets. She picks up the details, and I love her so much. Thank you. Yay. Kirsten Iafola, hello. And Kirsten actually leads the 7-day event with the first class, and she sets the tone and the pace for all of us to follow with her charismatic and most demanding way of asking for sweat and energy and more. I couldn't do it without her. She is amazing. You have to come by and take a class sometime with her. I didn't mean that as a plug. Yes, I did. Okay. So, of course, I speak of community. I speak of loving where I am, my city, my people, my tribe. And, of course, I had to get my inspiration from somewhere, and it was the charities. It started with the charities. Places like AIR with Glicka. Yes. Dover's Children's Home with Renee. Hi, Renee. How are you? Community Toolbox. And then we have N68 Hours of Hunger with Deb Shag. And we have NHSPCA with Sheila Ryan. And we have Women Aid. And we have with Ashley Brown and Patty Cohen, somewhere here. And then we have Families First, who has won the prestigious award of Top Dog 2 years in a row for spending generosity. Oh my gosh, amazing. And then last but not least, we have New Heights with Tracy Tucker. Just amazing organizations. But again, they were my inspiration. So we talk about inspiration. They started the ball. They didn't know it. So I had known about them. They had not known about me. And I searched out them. I asked them if I could benefit them. Mine is a grassroots organization. And I didn't want to have them incur any cost whatsoever. So all the time is spent with my great crew, my family, and it's all donated. So every single cent can go back to the charities. And that's the way it should be. So they can give back more. Yep. And one more, well, how should I put it? We raised, as you heard, over 6 years, a total of $100,000 for this community. But how do we raise it? Well, we raised it by teaching one spin class a day for 7 days. But it was the community, the family, it was the people in our fair city that came together, bonded, sweat, laughed, and gave generously of their time to bring this amazing goodwill and love to our city. And I thank my people, my city, and everyone here for allowing me this moment to share my passion, which is you. My inspiration is you. Thank you so much.
Along with her husband Russ, founded the Portsmouth Music and Arts Center here in Portsmouth. Last year, Katie received the Inspiration Award for her tireless and silent contributions to the entire Portsmouth and Seacoast community through PMAC. She's here with us again tonight to present the third Inspiration Award. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Katie Grazier.
Several decades, Ellie Sanderson has contributed her time, leadership skills, resources, active participation, and generally good energy to many, many different Portsmouth community organizations. She's established the Chamber Music Festival. She's very active in St. John's Church, shepherded the Halcyon Music Festival summer programs, and has aided so many other arts and historic organizations over the years, including the Moffat Ladd House and Gardens. Ellie is someone who models service in every facet of her life and is always a gracious presence, making young and old feel welcome. It is easy to overlook someone like Ellie because she's always in the background trying to make everyone else be in the spotlight. Here is just a bit of work that Ellie has accomplished for the Portsmouth community in her own words.
My name is Ellie Sanderson, and I'm a very proud Portsmouth resident. I have been here since 1993. I came as the wife of Dave Sanderson, and one of our first dates, Dave took me down to Market Square and introduced me to the Portsmouth Athenaeum, where I fell in love with the history, the books, all that institution meant to the city of Portsmouth, because the Athenaeum is the repository for the history of Portsmouth, starting at the very beginning. I served as president for 3 years. It was a great honor because I am the first woman to have served in that position, even though women were active in the Athenaeum from the beginning. And the Athenaeum this year is celebrating its 200th birthday. It was formed in 1817. So happy birthday to the Portsmouth Athenaeum. It's a national board, it's an advisory board. It's a way for people to learn about what's happening at Strawberry Bank. Strawberry Bank has come a long way. I've always been interested in what they're doing, and the fact that they are self-sustaining as an outdoor history museum is an incredibly exciting and powerful thing for Portsmouth. Outdoor museums like that have trouble surviving, but Strawberry Bank is in very good shape. Happy to be part of it. Marguerite Matthews and Greg Gathers run this delightful theater company, and I had known Marguerite in an earlier life when she came to the organization, the community arts organization that I founded in Maine. Marguerite had come there and played the part of Sarah Orange Jewett in a one-woman show for my organization. So I realized who they were and always appreciated what they did. Incredibly artistic. Having the opportunity to sit somewhere and pinch yourself and say, how did I ever get here to see this? This is something totally remarkable. And it happens over and over again in Portsmouth with all the synergies and all the wonderful things that happen in Portsmouth. I'm not actually a founder of the Poet Laureate program, but I was there at the birth. And with all of these things, I'm just sort of a background part of it. We have national poet laureates and we have state poet laureates, but we have one in Portsmouth too. They started with a fantastic project called the Shipyard Project, which was a dance company, Liz Lurman Dance Company, that performed on the banks of the Piscataqua down at Prescott Park. So I was quite involved over the years, and I just admired the poetry that comes out of Portsmouth and all the people that are committed to it. Also, I feel that the independent bookstore here is a very important part of Portsmouth. Didn't want to see that die, and it's still going. Life is difficult for independent bookstores these days. Everybody knows, but it's still there. So books, I would say, mean a great deal to me too. A lot of things get me all excited. So, and then I sit around here and think about it and how can I help or how can we help. And as you can tell, a lot of it is related to the arts. I think probably my main source of inspiration is music. And I thought if I ever wrote a book, it would be called When the Music Starts, because I like to do the background work, you know, make something happen. But when the music starts and you can love what's going on there, then that is perhaps the biggest source of inspiration in my life. Portsmouth, to me, is a fabulous community. There are so many people doing so many things, all for the good of the community. That is a gift. That is an enormous gift if you feel that the universe is somehow making something possible that's good for a community, then that's a big gift.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Ellie Sanderson.
Everybody, my heart is just busting out of these walls that are doing so much for the community too. I'm just really excited to be here, and heartfelt thanks to Portsmouth Public Media TV. Heartfelt thanks to all of you. This is very generous, so generous of everybody, and I'm particularly honored to be with Liz and Joanne. Thank you very much for including me. I must say, I have to first introduce Peter Bird and Chris Dwyer, who nominated me for this wonderful award. I really appreciate it so much. Thank you. I'm also
tonight too, and wonderful friends. Wonderful friends over the years in Portsmouth. It's just a great place for friendship and for enjoyment and for doing really important things in the community for the common good. That is such an important thing. I really appreciate the opportunity to do what I can do to help the organizations that I'm involved in. As you can see, I'm sort of freaky, but nonetheless, I'm going to keep going as long as I possibly can. So, thank you so much.
To acknowledge these three incredible individuals for their contributions that they've made toward enriching our lives and so many of our people in the community. We thank you, Liz, we thank you, Joanne, and we thank you, Ellie, for all that you have done. And we thank you for joining us this evening, and we thank you at home for being along with us as well as we watch these people inspire us through their passions and their abilities, which touch us every day. The PPM-TV Board of Members and staff, thank you for being with us tonight and for joining us in the celebration, and we wish you all a very good night.
Tonight's presentation of the 2017 Inspiration Awards has been made possible by Physicians Healthy Weight Loss Center, where the physician makes the difference. Seagate Studios, creating New England-inspired gifts and home decor right here on the Seacoast. Pierce Atwood LLP, proudly serving the region's legal needs since 1891, and by Shannon and Josh Adler.